The 909th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 909 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to all the little fat boys out there who haven't given up on themselves. Keep on reaching for the stars, little fat boys. Thank you for coming to the show. I'm your host, Mr. Worldwide, Jeff Fox. Alongside me, Mr. Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Last night was a very good night for Contender Series. It was a heartwarming night, and it warmed the pocketbook as well, because Gumby went 4-1 with 2 underdogs. Correct, Gumby?
Correct. And one pick'em. One pick'em, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the second fight of the night, Chase Blair versus...
Okay.
And that fight closed it at a pick'em odds, which is pretty awesome. And like, even if you know, happen to get down on the before Samuel Sanchez had any closing line value, I mean, like the highest he ever got was like -125, -130. So like a good hit there too. Yeah, and I thought you were gonna
fight. No way, man.
I really thought you were gonna dedicate the episode to Dana White's toes.
I could have. That's too gross. even to think about that. Dana's gonna give him a shot, Gumby, after that performance.
I do have to say that
shot.
That phrasing kind of bothered me. I wonder if he's worried about like the goofy persona mixed with the fact that, like, look, his physique he doesn't look like a roided out heavyweight.
No.
You know,
I'm surprised he said that, since like one of his training partners just got suspended for that. But anyhow.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about
the Goose
that.
just got. Yeah, I didn't either. I'm guessing he didn't think of it either.
But
anyhow,
he doesn't look like Goozy though. You know, like
no.
They've got a very different.
He doesn't look like anyone.
But
he looks like concrete ass.
But I wonder if like there's some sort of like, because I was racking my brain to try to find out why Dana White wasn't pumped. Like he cut a weird promo, like he was authentic. Like I don't know if you noticed on like social media, but like anything that's got his name in it went nuts. Like my Instagram post with his last episode on it had 5 times the interactions that any of my other posts had. Like it had like 25,000 views in like an hour. And it was so like, those things just like blew up because his name was on it. I thought Dana White would be pumped on him. So I was racking my brain about why he might not. And the only thing I could think of is like, does the fact that he's not like in great shape combined with the fact that he's like being a little silly, like remind him of Roy Nelson? You know what I mean?
I was gonna say Roy Nelson.
And that dude hated Roy Nelson, all Roy Nelson did was knock people out in 30 seconds all the time, right? And like, you know, and maybe that's because Roy Nelson killed his golden goose and Kimbo, but like, you know, like for some reason he had it out for Roy Nelson, and like, man, I can't see why you wouldn't just like watch that Steven Asplin performance. He went in there with an undefeated killer who knocks people out all the time. Stood toe-to-toe with him, unscared, knocked him out instead, and then cut some of the most authentically hilarious promotions I've ever seen in the Dana White's Contender Series. I don't know why he wasn't more excited. But look, bottom line is he got the contract. I couldn't be happier for the guy. Like I'm over the moon for Steven Asplin. So excited. And obviously excited for the Discord because we all had him in there too.
Yeah, no kidding. So very good night. Has that fixed your stats for Contender Series?
Season? You mentioned before we were like down a little bit on the year.
Not much.
We're back to like I think we're up to 33 units on non-UFC MMA. Obviously, I think we wound up picking up 5 units or 4 units on yesterday's episode, right? Because the one we lost basically is pushed by the pick'em, and then you hit 2 underdogs and another decent fight. We're back in a good spot. It just takes a couple underdogs.
And most of the fights went the way you said they're going to go too, not just the winner. You actually
Asplin kind of surprised me, man. Like I'll be honest, like I thought he was going to drag him into deep waters and force him to fight like a kind of an ugly fight. He just knocked him out.
Even easier. How do you think he's going to do in the UFC heavyweight?
I think it depends on who he fights. You know, like I believe that he's working on his weaknesses, right? Because his weakness we saw in the fight with Denzel Freeman, who's now the LFA champ, you know, so like no shame in that. But like, you know, he prefers to strike and not grapple. But I think his style of striking is like problems for a lot of dudes. Like, he beat up Mo Usman for sure. He beat up a lot of those dudes at the bottom of that division. I think we're going to have to see how well he develops before he fights like the Sergey Spivaks, who like have really good grappling. Like, he's going to need to take those steps while he's fighting the Mo Usmans or the Sean Sharafs or whatever before he fights the Spivaks.
Yep, it's true. It's true. But yeah, we probably should dive into this UFC though, even though it's not a good UFC. You were trying to tell me this is a good.
It's not bad.
For Noche UFC, this is a UFC Apex event. Like,
all the other Noche UFC was a pay-per-view. Like,
and the year before it was we had the women's flyweight title on the line, and this one is we have David Martinez in the co-main event. I know it would have been better if Raul Rosas was there. True. But yeah, this is a weak fight card. Regardless whether it's Noche or not, it's weak fight card for them to be selling tickets for it, really.
I don't know that you're right about that. I think you're underselling how popular Diego Lopez is.
Yeah, no, I said the main event is great. The rest yeah. Anyhow, we have 8 fights to talk about today. Whether they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. But we have 8 fights to cover, so we should dive into it because we're going to win some money on it, right? Right, of course. All right, before we get into it, reminder, we got 25% off everything in the merch store. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store with the promo code football. So check out all the MMA gambling podcast merch there. We got lots of good stuff. All right, Noche UFC 3, aka UFC Fight Night Lopez versus Silva. I've also seen it called Noche UFC 3 Lopez versus Silva. There's lots of different names. It's almost like it's PFL. Taking place in San Antonio, Texas. So they're getting closer to the border, right? It's more Mexican-ish than Las Vegas is at the very least, right? So we're going to San Antonio, Texas. We are going to the Frost Bank Center. All these buildings change their name so often. I had to look it up. Saturday, 3 p.m. start time for this here event, and that's the fights we're talking about first. The prelims, and it's on ESPN Plus. We're starting off with a fight that we already discussed before. We're going to discuss it again. We'll keep it short. It's the tough 170-pound finale. It's tough TUF. Rodrigo Sezinando, he's from Brazil, versus Daniil Donchenko. He is from the Ukraine. Let's break it down quickly because some of you people may not. Well, we are getting new, it seems, viewers and listeners every episode, so you may not have heard our first breakdown. So let's break it down again quickly. Sezinando, 8-1, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. This is his UFC proper debut. He has won 4 straight fights, all via finish. I'm just counting official fights, not fights in the house. So he would have won 2 fights, right? They only have to win 2 now in TUF. Okay. 2-0 in TUF. He's not lost a fight since November 2022. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get all our merch. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, your code is football. All right. Used to fight at 165, 175, 185. It's the Joe Rogan dream weight classes. Every 10 pounds. He's an inch taller than Donchenko. He's at plus 200. Donchenko 11-2, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions. He has never been finished either. Yanni says this one's going to be done in the first round. This is his debut as well. He's also won 4 straight. He also went 2-0 on the Ultimate Fighter. However, here's the big difference, Gumby. 1-0 in one championship, the biggest fight promotion in the world. So he's got his resume is sparkling. Regional champ as well. Used to fight at 145 and 155. 3 years younger than Sezinando, minus 185. I can't remember what the lines were originally. Do you remember what they were when we broke this down weeks ago or not?
They were a touch closer. I remember them being, but they took a little while to come out, which I think might have been a hint that it was getting canceled or pushed or whatever. Okay. I remember being a little bothered by that. And I think I remember saying Donchenko will be a slight favorite. He's a little bit higher than that. I'm still taking Donchenko. For anybody who listened to me the first time, the hands are really great from Donchenko. He really hits really hard. He puts together nice combinations, cuts nice angles. Sezinando really did not impress me on the show. Kind of won a couple of fights by grinding him out. The fight with Jeff Creighton just like kind of soured me on it. I'm like, can he strike? I'm not quite sure. And then the grappling, like, it's not that it wasn't good because he was grappling Jeff Creighton, but it was like he wasn't doing any damage with it, and Creighton didn't look like he had any interest in getting up. So, like, I think with a guy who's going to scramble a little bit better and is going to be a little bit further away for those takedowns, I think Sezinando is going to struggle.
I'm switched my pick. I'm Donchenko as well. I've watched more film on him. I am watching more film than I have before, Gumby. I'm kind of.
I know you watched a little bit before this one, and then you were like,
yes.
I'm on Sezinando, and I was like, really?
Yeah, I watch more. I'm trying to thread the needle between Moneyball and actual old-fashioned scouting.
I like it.
Yeah, Donchenko, he hit too hard. You said my catnip there. He does. He hits very hard. He's very explosive and aggressive, and you always like to go with the striker over the grappler, unless there's obviously a massive grappling advantage.
He's a bang tao MMA guy too, which is certainly doesn't hurt.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm going Donchenko as well. No dog for me there. All right. Next fight. It is women's bantamweight. Alice Pereira. Anytime you Google her name, you're going to end up with Aline Pereira more often than not, which is
not the same. They look very different.
Alex Pereira's sister. Yeah. Different person. This is Alice Pereira. She's the youngest female to ever enter the UFC. She's 19 for another 2 months. I think November she turns 20. So pretty crazy. Younger than my son. She's fighting Montserrat Rendon. She is from Mexico, right? Yes. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds, 135. I probably should have said Rendon then, right?
Yeah.
Mexico. Yeah. You said Rendon when we did the breakdown originally. So
we don't ever
Rendon.
do any press. We don't do any pre-work. You're lying.
We just want to make sure we had the fights in the right order. That's all. That's the minimum that we do. She is monster Rendon. I did it too. 6-1. She's never finished a fighter. She's never been finished in a fight. So she's 1-1 in the UFC. She owes us rounds. I mean, she owes us finishes. 1-1 in the UFC. She lost her last fight. That was back in March of 2024. She's not won since September 2023. 1-0 Invicta, regional champ. Used to fight at 145. 1-1 as a pro grappler, plus 133. Golden Girl, Pereira. 5-0, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. This is her debut. Regional champ, 16 years younger than Rendon, but Rendon's, I guess she's 35, so 36. So she's not super old. 2 inches taller than her, minus 135. This is a tough one. This is a tough one for you, Gumby, before I go into my spiel. No. I've watched everything. Rendon's definitely got a grappling advantage. Definitely has a resume advantage. Pereira has power. She can really crack. She's not fought anyone good. She has.
I don't think Rendon has fought anybody.
No, that's the thing.
And
she's fought
she
at a higher level,
loss.
but she really hasn't fought. Yeah, she hasn't really fought anyone. So Pereira, she has power. She kind of swings wildly though, but Rendon is not the type of fighter that's going to catch her with that. She has very vicious ground and pound if she does take the fight to the mat. But like I said, her comp level is low, as is her experience, obviously. But I'll go with the youth. I'll go with the power. I hope that she can keep the fight standing, obviously. But if Rendon had just a tad bit of finishing power, then obviously this would be a different story. But as I said, Pereira kind of throws wild. She's a little sloppy in the feet, but I'll go with the Golden Girl here.
I think you're overestimating Rendon's grappling abilities. Like I know, like the stats look somewhat decent, but she won a split decision against Tamiris Vidal because she couldn't keep her down. And let me tell you something. Tamiris Vidal has not looked good in any of her fights except for moments against Montserrat Rendon. And largely at times in the clinch, she bullied her. So while Rendon's path to victory tends to be through the grappling, I think the pure athleticism of Pereira is just going to be enough to just quench that. And then on the feet, I think there is a very wide discrepancy in terms of their striking. So I think that's a piece there too. And then the other thing, which I think tends to get overlooked when we're doing film and we're talking about fighters, is at 19, she is not a complete fighter.
No.
So what we saw 6 months ago from her may be wildly different in this fight, right? There might be a type of growth that we were just simply, look at what we saw with Raul Rosas Jr., right? It's
right.
That dude, I saw him on the Contender Series, saw him fight Mando Gutierrez, kind of had some trouble in some of the grappling exchanges. I was like, this guy, get him out of here. There's no reason. He needs more seasoning. And then in the UFC, he's tooling on guys 5 times better than Mando Gutierrez. And it's just because he was a kid, and just the amount they grow in the period of time that they grow, it's just different. So I think you underestimate that piece of it. And I think also overestimating Rendon a little bit here. I think Pereira cruises.
I don't like that Rendon's been out for a while too, and she's way
After
older
losing to,
than
didn't she
Pereira,
lose
too.
to somebody not good either?
Yeah, of course, she hasn't fought anyone good. She's fought in Invicta and the UFC, but she still has not fought anyone good.
Yeah.
She lost to Daria Zelznyakova.
Yeah.
She
All right.
squeaked
Better
by
than I was going to give her credit for.
Tamiris Vidal, beat Brittany
Yeah.
Cloudy, and that's you haven't heard anyone else. Well, Gumby's heard of everyone else that
Brittany
she's fought.
Cloudy was kind of disappointing. I always thought she was going to be better.
Yeah, she didn't pan out. So anyhow, we're both going with Pereira is picker. I think they've matched her up. This is a good setup into the UFC. So
yeah.
All right, before we dive into more fights, my bookie time. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie's your place to bet in football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is better than anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the UFC lines we're talking about right now over at MyBookie. And when you do head over there, they have a new deal for you as long as you use our code. So head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for a new customer. So once again, that's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. Now Rhythm, RITHMM. NFL is back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. But they really shined on player props, 13-5 on Tariq Hill props, 31% return on investment. But it's not just NFL. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. And Rhythm has introduced a leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model, and you could win $1,000. Gumby, week 2. You killed week 1. Gumby won our internal. You ended up winning, right?
I not only was number 1 on SGPN in terms of picking NFL games against the spread. I was number 1 on Tally Site. Nobody in the country was better than me at picking games against the spread. 13-3. Bring it on week 2. Bring it on.
I went 8-8. So yeah, I was lacking. All right, week 2, Gumby. He knows what he's talking about apparently.
So week 2, I'm gonna buy low on the Dolphins here. They're only 1.5 point favorites against the Patriots. I know the Dolphins offense looked like absolute butt in week 1, but I don't think the Patriots are any good anyway. Expect the bounce back from Tua here, and the Dolphins get the win.
Okay, see if Gumby knows what he's talking about. Well, at least see if Rhythm's models agree with Gumby. You can do it for free with a 7-day free trial by going to sports@gamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. My fantasy team ended up winning by like decimal points, Gumby, this past week. So it was a tight one. It was a tight one. So I know my football too. I'm the defending champion, so I have to win the league again this year. All right, we're going back to San Antonio. Alessandro Costa from Brazil versus Alden, Coria from the United States of America. They're fighting at flyweight, 3 5-minute rounds. I guess it's Coria, right? Coria is Cobra.
No, Korea. It's Korea.
Cobra Korea. That makes more sense because of the Cobra Kai thing, right? Cobra Korea sounds a bit better. He's 10-3 with 1 no contest, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. He's durable. That means this is his debut. 3-0 with 1 no contest over his last 4. TKO win in his last bout. He's fed at 135, 2 years younger than Costa, 4 inches taller, plus 374. So this newcomer is not being given much respect at the books. No is Costa's nickname. 14-4, 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 2-2 in the UFC. Loss win is the pattern for him. Won his last bout via TKO. That was back in May of 2024. So he's been on the shelf for a little bit as well. Regional champ, 1-0 contender series. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 0.64 strikes per minute, minus 370. So tell us about Korea. Tell us about your pick.
So, Korea is like the type of guy who I usually like coming off of the regional scene. Somebody who's fought for Fury and has put together a couple of good wins. But I went back and I watched the film on him, and I just don't think I can get around to picking him here against Alessandro Costa. Korea's had some really nice fights. Like he knocked out Paris Morin, which granted, I think that's the one that's a no contest. I don't actually know why that got overturned. Maybe strikes to the back of the head when he was finishing with the ground and pound. I don't know why they overturned that one. But I know that he beat Paris Morin, and like that's a big win for me. But like when I go back and I watch it, I'm like, Paris Morin is a guy who loves to wrestle. He's pretty damn good on the ground. Has put together some really nice wins that way. And like Paris Morin is being successful on the feet against Korea right up until he gets knocked out. And that just like begs the question, like if that guy's piecing you up on the feet and having his moments, what is Costa going to do, right? Because Costa's faster than the average flyweight. He's got some like really, really, really nice takedowns in there. I mean, like he beat the hell out of Kevin Borjas in the last fight, right? With the leg kicks. And I mean, like Borjas
that was
couldn't
the
even,
kicks. Yep.
yeah, Borjas couldn't even stand at the end of that fight. So like for me, you know, as much as I like Coria and I'm like glad he got signed to the UFC, I think this is a really bad matchup for him. I think the grappling of Costa, the speed of Costa, the stand up, like I just think they're all better. So yeah, I'm gonna take Alessandro Costa.
Yeah, the intern looked into it. The intern doesn't know why it was the no contest either. For Coria, I like his power. I like his wrestling. I like his ground and pound, but I'm going with Costa as well. It's a levels fight in one aspect. Excuse me. His leg kicks are crazy, as we were saying. He also has the power to match Coria. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded as well. And obviously he has fought at a much higher level than Coria has at this point in his career. So give me no. And then there's the speed, as Gumby said as well. Costa's a very fast fighter. So Costa's both of our picks here as well. All right, let's go to the next fight. It's got one of our favorites in it, right? Right, Gumby? Gumby said
he's only got 13 bucks in his bank account.
I wonder why. One of our favorites could be Zach Reese. Zach Reese is fun. We got Zach Reese against Sedriques. Dumbass is how you say it. I think that's how it's pronounced, right? They're fighting. I should be careful. He may come after me. They're fighting at 185. I guess he wouldn't get across the border, right? He's got a bit of a record, that guy. 3 5-minute rounds, 185. Let's tell you about Dumas first. He's the Reaper. 10-3, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. So he's been finishing all his losses. 3-3 in the UFC, loss over his last 3, 3-2 over his last 5. He got TKO'd in his last fight. He went 1-0 in Contender Series. That's what got us in this mess. He won his Contender Series fight.
Matej Panaz, man.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's disappointing, eh? Yeah. Was he a dog too? Was Dumas a dog fight? He must have been, right?
Yeah.
Used to fight at 170 and 205. 2 inches of reach over Reese, a year younger. He's been outstruck in the UFC and Contender Series by 0.4 strikes per minute. He's at plus 211. Savage versus the Reaper. Savage is 9-2. That would be Reese. 9-2, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 3-2 in the UFC. 3-1 over his last 4. He won his last bout. 1-0 on Contender Series. Used to fight at 205. 2 inches taller than Dumas. Twice more active landing strikes. Better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents with 1.29 strikes per minute. He's at minus 225. Give me Reese here. I think he's way too active on the feet, and he's also a very dangerous striker. And I have concerns about Dumas's chin. He's been knocked out in 2 of his last 3 fights, and have concerns about his head being in this as well. I think he's just fighting for legal money at this point for to hire lawyers. And Reese, I think, would be better if this fight hits the ground as well. Hopefully hits the ground with Dumas knocked out, but Reese is my pick.
Yeah, Reese has got good power. He's fast. He doesn't do dumb things, which is pretty much what you need to do in order to lose to Sedriques Dumas, right? Because like I mean, like, isn't that what? I mean, look at any of Sedriques Dumas wins, right? Like he had that weird one over low IQ Cody Brundage in that fight, where Cody Brundage kept like pulling him on top of him basically and being on bottom, and then like he beat Panaj when Panaj, who's a sensational kickboxer, decided to shoot a double leg takedown and got guillotined. Like,
that's what Dana White wants to see on Contender Series, right? Dana White wants to see.
He wanted to see the leggy kickboxer throw a head kick. And that's not what he did. So, but like, my point is that like he keeps beating people when they do really dumb things. And like the thing about Reese is like he has been pretty smart historically. Like, he takes advantage of people who make dumb mistakes. He did a Rafael Aronoff, not Rafael, the other one, Eli Aronoff on Contender Series when he stuck his arm back into that arm bar. But also like, he pieces people up on the feet. Was it Cuban Missile Crisis that he knocked out?
Yeah, he knocked him out. Yep.
Just by like getting after it. And like, I think he's sharper on the feet. I think he's got more knockout power than Dumas. And then, all the things you said about the extracurriculars for Dumas right now, like if those don't worry you, like the guy couldn't fight his last fight because he had an ankle bracelet on, and he had to back out because they weren't going to let him out of the state. And like I hope he got there for fight week because I'd like to see Reese knock him out, but who knows?
Personally, I would want him out of my state. I would be like, go ahead, leave the state, go far away. All right, we are all on the same page. All 2 of us so far. We are going to 125 now, which is fun. We got a lot of flyweights in this year card. Jesus Aguilar, he's from Mexico versus Luis Gurule. I always call him Guriel, but it's Gurule, is it not?
At least Gurule. Yeah.
Gurule, yeah. At least it was when he was on the fights I was watching. Yeah, I watch fights. Aguilar first, 11-3, 1 knockout, 7 submissions. He's been submitted twice, 3-2 in the UFC. He's won 3 of his last 4, but he did lose his last fight. He's missed weight before at 125. Keep an eye on that. Fighters that lose weight, Fighters that miss weight tend to lose their fight. The stats say 1-0 in Contender Series, regional champion, 2015 pro MMA debut. 3 years younger than Gurule, better grappling stats than him, plus 190. Gurule is Grim Gurule, 10-1, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, 0-1 in the UFC. TKO loss in his last bout. 1-0 in Contender Series, used to fight at 135. An inch taller, 2 inches of reach over. Aguilar, 3 times more active landing strikes. He has outstruck his 2 opponents. We have stats for about 1.6 strikes per minute. He's at minus 200. And Gumby goes this time.
I'm actually gonna go underdog here.
Me too.
Really, I really didn't think I was going to because like in the past I've really liked what I've seen from Gurule, but then like his last fight, I don't know, it just kind of soured me on him. You know, he had that kind of like ugly loss to what was it? Ode Osborne knocked him out real hard. And
which you don't expect to happen from
right. And the other here's the biggest problem about that is that like kind of what I liked about Gurule was his like ability to like march people down and like not worry about getting hit. Because that's like kind of like what he did on Contender Series, and that's kind of what he was doing on the regional scene, right? Like didn't he beat that guy who got 2 kicks to the can on Contender Series? They made him fight a second time, despite winning because they didn't like how he won or something like that.
Let me see who you're
Nick Piccinini.
Nick Piccinini.
Yeah, I was right.
Italian.
And so like he looked good, like walking him down, but then like now I question like, is that actually a good method for him? Like if his best traits are now kind of like exposed and like dangerous, like how bad could that wind up being for him? Like it feels like it could be really bad. And then on top of that, like, dude, Aguilar is like, he's so big for the weight class. Like he's such a big dude in this weight class. And then like you add in that it's kind of dangerous with the hands. We've seen him mix it up with dudes and like kind of be surprising there. His grappling is super underrated. And I know that Gurule trains at that like that fight team that I can't decide if I believe in yet or not, because on one hand, Raw Dog continues to keep putting in amazing fights. Yeah. But then I'm like, I don't really like how Alexander Hernandez has looked recently. Gurule's not look great. Like,
oh, is that a spoiler for tomorrow?
Quite possibly. Yeah, we can talk about that one ahead of time. I forgot he was on this card until you just said that.
He's fighting tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like whatever they call that fight team, because it's got like a nebulous name that changes every week.
Right.
I'm not sold on it yet. And with that being his method of like marching people down, I worry about it.
Yeah, Gurule is easy to want to pick because just like he has so much power for a flyweight. Like he really, even if he's knocking guys out, he's knocking guys down frequently. He's knocked out more than half of his wins as well. His takedown defense is, I've seen him get taken down a lot. I think he seems to get back up pretty easily, but he gets taken down a lot by people that aren't as good as Aguilar. Aguilar's a very good grappler.
Also, like his record is 3-2. The losses are really, really good, right? Like it's
Rafael Estevam.
Oh, Estevam, who's undefeated and beat Charles Johnson, and then Tetsuro Taira.
Yep. Yeah, it's very good. Very good. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's a way better grappler, and he only has 1 knockout, but you should watch the knockout. He really smokes guy, but he can crack. That's gotta be said. He can crack on the feet as well. So, but I would hope that he would take Gurule down, though. Like I said, he seems to be willing to cede takedowns. So I hope he gets his work down on the ground because Gurule is scary on the feet. But Aguilar's a pick, and we're almost getting twice the money for him. So works for me for sure. Let's do one more before we tell you about some more sponsors. Why this one should really be the co-main event, especially at this point? Like, why is this? Are they punishing Tatiana Suarez? Is that what this is all about?
They like Tatiana Suarez because oh no, maybe this is the patchy mix punishment.
Oh, true. He looked horrible. She looked horrible too. They both looked horrible in their last fight. But yeah,
I mean, she looked horrible against Weili Zhang. Let's pump the brakes on she looked horrible. Nobody's ever looked good against Weili Zhang if your name isn't Rose Namajunas.
This is the second best fight, or at least the second most important fight on the fight card. It's buried in the prelims. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. They're fighting at 115. could be a bounce back fight, at least according to the odds. It's a bounce back fight for Suarez. We'll tell you about Lemos first. At Medina, so little Amanda is 15-4-1, 8 knockouts, 3 submissions. She's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 9-4 in the UFC. Lost win over her last 4, 4-3 over her last 7. Used to fight up at 135. She totally skipped the flyweight division and went right down to strawweight. Regional champ, 2014 Pro MMA debut. She's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.57 strikes per minute, plus 400. Suarez 10-1, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 7-1 in the UFC. She did lose her last fight to Weili Zhang. 3-0 in the Ultimate Fighter and the champion of her season. That was so long ago though. Used to fight at 125. Regional champ, 2014 Pro MMA debut. She's a multi-time wrestling medalist at the tippy top level. An inch of height, an inch of reach over Lemos, 3 years younger. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats all over Lemos. And she's outstruck her opponents by 1.64 strikes per minute. Minus 400. All right, I'm going Suarez here. This is a bounce back spot for her. Lemos gets taken down by pretty much everyone that she fights. And none of those people are... Maybe Zhang is, but most of those people aren't the takedown artists that Suarez is. I think Suarez is going to use her strength and obviously her wrestling skills and grind this fight out and get herself back in the win column.
Yeah, so you know I'm a Tatiana Suarez fan, right? Like, I love Tatiana Suarez. I wanted her to be Weili Zhang. I'm kind of bummed now that Weili Zhang's leaving the division just as she, like, loses her title shot. Because, honestly, I think she could beat Diana Jandiroba or Mackenzie Dern. And here they are fighting for the belt while she's messing around on the prelims. But on that same token, so I'm going to pick her to win.
Okay.
Do not roll this in your parlay.
No.
This has got parlay buster written all over it. Because as much as I agree with you, I do think she could just grind out Amanda Lemos and make Amanda Lemos' life out. Amanda Lemos is so strong. Like, really freaking strong. And then when you add on to the fact that she's really strong, and it really would only take one punch for her to end the night. Like, I don't want to be sitting there with my whole parlay hinging on this fight, especially with where the price is. It's not doing enough for your parlay to put it in there. Keep it on. If you want to play, you want to play Suarez by decision, you want to play, you think Suarez could get you want to play Suarez sub. Like, you want to find some creative ways to get in on Suarez, get in on Suarez in a creative way. Don't roll her money line into your parlay.
There you go. You've been warned. Gumby has warned you. All right. He doesn't want you losing all your money. All right. We'll get to the last 2 fights after I tell you about Underdog. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em, or you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. It's available for a ton of sports. Gumby's going to give you Underdog fantasy play right now, I bet.
Sure. Why don't we kick it on over to the NFL? I haven't given away enough NFL picks this week, right?
Nope.
And so far, that's been my thing. So, the Thursday night game here on week 2, going to be the Commanders and the Packers. We're going to go higher than on the Jaden Daniels passing yards. He paid off for us in week 1. As much as I like that Packers defense, I do think the Packers offense is going to score enough. It's going to force Daniels to throw the ball down the field. And we're going to get some higher than on his passing yards. So give me the higher than on Jaden Daniels.
All right. And when you do head over to Underdog Fantasy, they do have a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMA SGPN. And we're brought to you by Novig, Novig, all one word. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. All right, 2 fights left on this here episode. We're doing 6 episodes this week for you gens out there too. So yeah, we're you sickos. We're the sickos doing it. All right. Co-main event of the prelims: Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva or Joaquim Silva. Peru is Puelles. I won't say any other countries I usually say for Peru. He is from Peru. He's Peruvian. That would make him. This one's pretty much is a pick. I'm on the board. We'll tell you about Silva first. Nito BJJ is the nickname. 13-5, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 6-5 in the UFC. Win-loss over his last 4. 2-4 over his last 6. He has not fought since May 2024. 2-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. 2010 Pro MMA debut. He's twice more active than Puelles landing strikes, but he has been outstruck in the UFC by 0.87 strikes per minute. Minus 104. This line's been all over the place. There was a time that Puelles was like a plus 122 dog or something, I think. Anyhow, Puelles is the Prince of Peru, which also gives away where he's from. 12-4, 2 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 5-3 in the UFC. He has lost 2 straight, though. Before that, he had won 5 straight. He's not fought since February 2024, so a couple guys knocking the ring rust off here on Saturday. He's not won since April 2022. 3-0 in the Ultimate Fighter. Used to fight at 155, 2013 Pro MMA debut. 2 inches taller, 3 inches reach advantage over Silva, 7 years younger. He's been outstruck as well by 1.22 strikes per minute. He's at minus 108. Gumby.
This is Puelles for me. And look, I think so. We're on the same page for the first 7.
We are.
Yeah. And here's the thing: is that like I get that Puelles is on the 2-fight losing streak, and he had moments where he looked absolutely miserable in those fights, but he also those fights were step ups, right? Like one was Dan Hooker. Who was the second guy he lost to there? Dan Hooker and
yeah, he lost it to good people.
And it was just
like on it.
Who?
Faris Zayam, the smile.
Oh, yeah. And in that fight, he actually got his grappling going early in that fight. He took Zayam down a couple of times. Now that
like
you mentioned the name, I remember.
There was a lot. It was like 6 times.
Yeah, and like, you know, Zayam is, I mean, that win is, or the loss is aged really well. Zayam has gone on to really big and better things. And, you know, the other thing about Puelles too is if you look at the early part of his career, you know, he had a little bit of a rough spell. He took some big time away and just like went and worked on things. Then he went on this amazing run and he was like, I'll fight anybody at any time because I'm now a beast. And then he got the step up in Dan Hooker and he took some steps back again. Now he's taking some time off again. And I just, you know, we talked about it at the beginning of the show with Pereira, the young fighters who decide to take this time away or who have a little bit of gap. Sometimes they surprise you in how different they come back. And like his wrestling has always been good. His jiu-jitsu has always been good. I think you wind up seeing like a version of him where that wrestling and top control is even better. And maybe ground and pounder striking become a bigger piece of this. So I like Puelles here. I've always liked Puelles. But like, I think this is a good matchup for him.
He's still only 29. So he still should be in the prime of his career. I'm taking him as well. Much younger, bigger as well. And I think he's a much better grappler, despite
29 is older than I thought he was. I'm going to be real honest with you. Yeah.
But Silva's 36. So that's even worse. The guy with BJJ in his name is going to get out grappled here. I think Puelles is a much better grappler than Silva is. So
especially positionally.
Yep. All right. Main event. I have a feeling, Gumby, that we may have the same pick here as well. I have a crazy feeling, but we'll see. The main event of the prelims.
Feels bad to be confident about him, doesn't it?
It's true. Middleweight, Jose Medina. He's from Bolivia. Probably the only fighter we've talked about from Bolivia, I think. Dusko, Todorovic. He is from somewhere with itch at the end of their names, which would be Serbia. They're fighting at middleweight. Tell you about Medina first. Chicho, not Chico. Chicho is the nickname. 11-5, 8 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 0-2 in the UFC. 0-1 in Contender Series. That's part of a 3-fight losing streak. Before that, he won 6 straight fights. He got TKO'd in his last fight. He's not won since March 2023. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. They have mantles in Bolivia. Get our merch, sportsgamepodcast.com/store. Remember, football at checkout, 20% off, 25% off even. Used to fight at 205, 1-0 pro grappler. He's been outstruck by 3.07 strikes per minute. Hence the 3-fight losing streak, plus 310. Krusko is Todorovic's nickname.
I thought it was Thunder.
It's also Thunder, yeah, but Krusko is another one of his nicknames. So yeah.
Is that Serbian for Thunder?
Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was Serbian for. I thought that Krusko the clown is it some knockoff Simpsons maybe in Serbia. Who's to say? Serbian viewers, let us know. He's 12-6, 8 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, 3-6 in the UFC. He has lost 3 straight as well. This has to be a loser leaves home match. You have to imagine 1-4 over his last 5. He has not won since October 2022. He won the Contender Series at least. 1-0 there. Regional champ. Oh, who did Medina lose to? I forgot to say that. I always ask you who people lose to.
It's a Russian,
you remember?
If I'm remembering right.
Gaziadzalev?
Was it Gaziadzalev?
Let me see. That is a Russian dude. It's true. You're correct. Yeah, good job, Gumby. All right, back to Krusko. Krusko the clown. He is a regional champ. 2015 pro MMA debut. He's an inch taller than Medina, 3 years younger. Better striking stats, twice more active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He has a positive strike differential, plus 0.26 strikes per minute, minus 310. I really don't want to have to pay minus 310 to Todorovic, but he has to be the pick here. What is Medina good at? He's good at getting beat up. That's how, honestly, that is how he got signed. His contract got signed because Dana White liked how he got beat up on Contender Series, which is
it was like he didn't land anything in that fight. And here's the craziest part too is that like now his chin has been checked once.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like that
you never know now.
It's so bad, right? Like that was all he had going for him, and then it got checked. So like. And we've talked about this before. It's not like that guy hits harder than this guy, so this one will work and this one won't. It's like once it gets hit, it's degenerative and it's just worse every time. So yeah, I'm thinking Todorovic here. Not thinking too much about it. Also, maybe not trying to put that in my fancy dancy plays.
No, it's hard. It's hard to take him at this number for sure. All right, it is a team ride again. # team ride. Todorovic, Puelles, Suarez, Aguilar, Reese, Costa, Pereira, and Donchenko. That's a lot of fights, a lot of winners. We'll be back tomorrow with more fights. We got 6 more to do, and then our fancy plays. We shall be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We shall be checking the comments at MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Please and thanks. Gumby runs our Twitter account, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram as well. Go to my Substack. You can enter my Noche UFC Pick'em contest for free with a free subscription at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has a Top Turtle MMA podcast. He's always interviewing people. Sometimes he interviews fat kids that don't give up on themselves. Who's on this week's show, Gumby?
Yeah, we got Steven Asplin. Granted, his fight is over by now, but still listen to that interview. It's so damn good. And then Christina Brader, who is fighting at LFA, and she's pretty damn entertaining as well. So make sure you check that out.
So check out Top Turtle, no matter who he has on. It's always good. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, checkout football is your code, and sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We've done so many of these. Is it my turn now, Gumby?
Sure.
We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be the Prince of Peru, Gumby Vreeland, Krishko the Clown, Jeff Fox. We'll talk to you then.